The principal parasite sits in Saudi Arabia, and he has 100,000 assistants, followed by 1,000,000 deputies, followed by 100,000,000 parasites of lower level. So it's a huge army of parasites, and they want the world to be ruled by them so that they can have harems full of 40, 50, 200 women, so that they can even forget who they slept with 4 years ago or 15 years ago. And there are jokes about it. A sheikh was visiting a harem, and the deputy was with him, the secretary. And he looked at a girl of 14 and he said, "Hey, Ahtanin." And he said, "Sheikh, just a minute. He wanted to take him away. And Sheikh was completely infatuated. He said, this is good, I want this." And he insisted, the deputy. He said, "Please listen to me before you go to her." And he took him away and he said, "For God's sake, forgive me. She is from that woman you slept with. She's your daughter." I said, "Oh, yalla, what a huge nonsense. Udhar kyun rakhi hui hai? You should have taken her away. In my harem there is my daughter." This culture of parasites, dirty, very dirty culture, they are promoting it in our countries. I'm very sorry to say, very, very sorry. I don't like to point out this, but with pain I say this. Ours is the only religion with the tradition of so many women. We are so fond of women. Conquerors all over human history are not reported for this kind of activity, taking away women of people. Even the Tartars, the Mongols did not do it. Why we are so fond of people's women, taking them away, as many as we can? This is not Muslims everywhere, but we are given this culture by Arabs. Arabs are sick people. On the issue of sex, they are inferiority complexed people who somehow satisfied their inferiority, their urge for superiority, their guilt of being inferior. So I believe, maybe it's entirely wrong, but I believe they have that feeling of impotence maybe, but they want to fulfill that feeling, overcome that feeling by going to more women. All over the world we hear they go for new women with all that money that they have earned from oil, and then from those holy places where people go for pilgrimage. Okay, and that money they spend on this. Everywhere they are. In Pakistan there are areas where they come, deserts where they come under the excuse of hunting, and there are very dirty stories. First there were stories of young girls taken by these Arabs for prostitution. They would stay there for weeks and sleep with very young women, girls. Then now there are stories of sodomy. They need boys. There are dirty scandals about boys. I don't know what kind of culture is this and why we learn from them. And these madrasas, in one way or the other, are the extension of Arab parasitism. We must realize this. People all over the world, Muslims all over the world, must take exception to the Arab idiosyncrasies or Arab weaknesses. It is not necessary, it is not Islam to follow the Arab traditions. Why should we take Arab culture as our culture? Why is it necessary for us to have their names, for example? Why is it necessary for us to have their style of beard, for example? Why is it necessary for us to copy their ways of sex? And why is it necessary for us to live as worthless, parasitic lives as they live?